Dear friends, now we are going to episode number 24. The provisions which will be dealt with here are rules 68 to 73 of Order 21. Rule 68 to 73. Now, 68 time for sale. In another episode which was dealt with earlier, I have mentioned that after proclamation of sale, date on which the copy of the proclamation was affixed on the courthouse, from that date onwards, the sale should not take place within 15 days in the case of immovable property and 7 days in the case of movable property, unless the consent in writing of the judgmentor is obtained. On a date earlier, it can be held. But normally, unless the consent of the decree holder or consent of the judgmentor is not obtained, immovable property can be sold only after 15 days from the date on which the notice was affixed, the proclamation was affixed in the courthouse. 15 days in the case of immovable property and 7 days in the case of movable. That is 68. 69. Adjournment or stoppage of sale. The court has power. Suppose it is a money decree. Payment of 1 lakh. On the date on which the court auction sale is fixed, the judgmentor pays 25,000 or 50,000 and prays for adjournment of sale. The court has the discretion, the power to adjourn the sale to a date which can be fixed by the court, and if it is beyond 1 month, fresh proclamation under Rule 67 is required. Fresh proclamation under Rule 67 shall be published unless the judgmentor consents to waive it. So normally what is done on the practical side of it is that when a substantial portion of the decree amount is paid on the date on which, or the previous date, or 2 days prior to that, and an application is made for adjournment of sale, normally the decree holder may not oppose. The court also will be lenient, because why should the judgmentor lose his property? What is in a decree for money, what is that the decree holder expected to get? The money. He has to get that money. He cannot aspire for the property of the judgmentor. Suppose it is the residential building and appurtenant land of a person, or an agricultural land of a person on his livelihood, and his livelihood is derived from the agricultural activities being conducted in that property, held in that property. Normally the court will be very lenient in favor of the judgmentor in such cases, provided the request is genuine. And court may stop the sale, adjourn the sale, but if it is adjourned beyond 1 month, longer period than not 1 month, 30 days, a fresh proclamation shall be published under Rule 67 unless the judgmentor consents to waive it. So on the practical side of it, is what is being done is that it may be posted, it will be posted after 1 or 2 months, after 1 month or 45 days, so that the judgmentor may pay the balance, or 1 or 2 installments he may pay, and adjourn. It is not granting installments after the decree, but of course enabling the judgmentor to pay the decree amount. The court may facilitate it, and the decree holder also normally does not oppose. Normally, in extreme cases one may oppose. And how it is done beyond 1 month, the court will record that the judgmentor has consented to waive fresh proclamation. It will be recorded in the proceedings. If that is done on the same proclamation, it can be held. If a fresh proclamation is to be had, all these procedures are to be followed again. Publication procedures, that is the proclamation has to be settled, then it should be published, and all those formalities are to be complied with. So that can be avoided by just agreeing to waive fresh proclamation. Normally, if more days are granted by the court, any judgment would agree to waive fresh proclamation, and it must be the decree holder's advocate. Decree holder's advocate must take care to see that fresh proclamation is waived, recorded to be waived by the judgment, and the court also must take serious notice of it. If it is to be adjourned beyond 30 days, some precaution has to be taken. Otherwise, the whole procedure has to be followed again, which may result in a great delay. And the adjournment must be to a specified day and hour. The officer conducting such sale may in his discretion adjourn the sale. So it is the discretion that prevails. Then every sale shall be stopped. Sub-rule 3. Every sale shall be stopped if before the lot is knocked down, the debt and costs, including the cost of the sale, are tendered to the officer conducting the sale, or proof is given to his satisfaction that the amount of such debt and costs have been paid into the court which ordered the sale. Today, the property is proclaimed for sale. Time is fixed, 11:30 a.m. And if the money payable under the decree is tendered to the officer who conducts the sale, he has no power to conduct the sale thereafter. Or if proof is produced to show that the amount has been deposited in court, he should stop the sale. Before the lot is knocked down, before the auction takes place, it must be done. Then the officer conducting the sale will stop it. 6970 repealed. 71. Defaulting purchaser answerable for loss on resale. Any deficiency of price which may happen on resale by reason of the purchaser's default, and all expenses attending such resale shall be certified by the court to the officer, by the officer or other person holding the sale, and shall at the instance of the decree holder or judgmentor be recoverable from the defaulting purchaser under the provisions relating to execution of a decree for payment of money. What is this? Auction took place. 25% of the bid amount has to be deposited on the same day, and the balance within 15 days. Suppose default is made by the auction purchaser, resale has to take place. In the resale, it did not fetch the price which was fetched on an earlier date, and that was not sufficient to satisfy the decree, and the shortfall shall be recovered from the defaulting party. That can be on the application of, if the court option purchaser is a stranger, the application for that purpose can be made either by the decree holder or the judgment. Then 72 and 72A are important. 72. Decree holder not to bid for or buy property without permission of the court. No holder of the decree in execution of which property is sold shall, without the express permission of the court, bid for or purchase the property. Permission of the court should be obtained. Decree holder, that is a check. Otherwise, the decree holder purchases, he will be inclined to purchase it for a low value. Where decree holder purchases, amount of decree may be taken as payment, and it is to his benefit also. If he gets such permission, it can be done where the decree holder purchases with such permission. The purchase money and the amount due on the decree may, subject to the provisions of section 73, be set off against one another, and the court executing the decree shall enter up satisfaction of the decree in whole or in part accordingly. Decree holder himself purchases, and the proper price is fetched. Say for example, for realization of 10 lakhs it was sold. Decree holder purchased the property for 12 lakhs. He has to realize 10 lakhs. Court can grant set off, so that the decree holder auction purchaser need deposit only 2 lakhs balance. He can set off towards the decree debt. Where decree holder purchases with such permission of the court is required. If there is no permission, it is visited with certain consequences. The purchase money and the amount due of the decree may, subject to the provisions of section 673, be set off against one another, adjusted against one another. So in the example which I have given, 10 lakhs is the amount to be realized. It was auctioned for 12 lakhs. Normally the auction purchaser has to deposit that 12 lakhs before court. But if it is the decree holder purchases with the permission of the court, he need deposit only the balance 2 lakhs. Because 10 lakhs he is entitled to realize. He can adjust it, set off, and then deposit the balance. Subject to the provisions of Rule 73. What is subject to the provisions of Rule 73? 73, please see. Restriction on bidding or purchase by officers. No officer or other person having any duty to perform in connection with any sale shall either directly or indirectly bid for or acquire or attempt to acquire any interest in the property sold. Otherwise the court staff will do it. They will see that the property is sold for a low price. They can amass wealth. Advocates may do it. Advocates cannot. They are officers of the court. Even otherwise they cannot enter into such transactions. The law does not permit it. Now, sub-rule 3 of Rule 72. Where a decree holder purchases by himself or through another person without such permission, the court may, if it thinks fit, on the application of the judgmentor or any other person whose interests are affected by the sale, by order set aside the sale, and when the cost of such application and the order and any deficiency of price which may happen on the resale and all expenses attending it shall be paid by the decree holder. Decree holder purchases in court auction without the permission of the court. That is to ensure that something is done, that he does not knock off the property for a very low price and thereby oppress the judgment, and to ensure fairness in the proceedings. So court, these provisions are being made, and he does not get the permission of the court. What will happen? The court may, if it thinks fit, set aside the sale on the ground that he did not get that permission, the proper price was not fetched, or so many irregularities are there. It is to be distinguished from an application under Rule 90. This is self-contained. This is 72.3 which provides for it. Please read a judgment in 2008 1 KLT 532. 2008 1 KLT 532. Cherutti versus Charu. Cherutti, CHEROOTTY versus Charu, CHARU. Please read that judgment. Please also read a very interesting judgment of the Supreme Court in AER 1997 Supreme Court 2106. That is Lalchand versus 8th Additional District Judge and others. 8th Additional District Judge and others. That was a suit for specific performance in respect of 43 decimals of land. Now here it is in acres, hectares, cents, like that. So For example, we will take it 43 cents of land. Suit for specific performance in respect of 43 decimals. We will take it cents of land. Suit was dismissed in respect of the relief of specific performance. And decree, however, was granted for return of the earnest money of rupees 2000. See, in respect of an item of immold property, the plaintiff filed the suit for specific performance of agreement for sale. That means if he succeeds, he has to get the property as such, and he has to pay the balance consideration, if any, to be paid to the seller, namely the defendant. Here, the suit for specific performance was dismissed, but there was an advance amount of rupees 2000 which is payable to the plaintiff. That was directed to be paid by the defendant. So now here the decree holder, plaintiff decree holder, is entitled to realize only 2000 rupees. He filed an execution petition. That execution petition that can be realized in any manner known to law. It can be by arrest and detention, it can be by attachment and sale. At that time, 2000 rupees also arrest could be had. In execution of that decree, property of the defendant having an extent of 1 acre 52.5 decimals of land was sold in court auction. Suit for specific performance, if decreed, the plaintiff will be getting 43 cents of land as per the decree. That relief was not granted by the court. Court granted only a relief for return of advance money, 2000 rupees. That 2000 rupees was sought to be realized by attaching the property belonging to the judgmentator and having an extent of 1 acre and 52.5 cents of land. And that was sold in court auction and purchased by the decree holder. By the decree holder for a sum of rupees 12,000. No other bidders. He alone was there. There was no proper notification, publication of sale, etc., etc. He did not obtain the permission of the court also to bid. This is the situation. An application was filed by the judgmentator to set aside the sale under Order 21, Rule 90. That is, to set aside the sale on the ground of material irregularity or fraud in publishing and conducting the sale, plus other ingredients. That was dismissed by the executing court. It was confirmed by the High Court also. See the fate of a party. If the whole case he loses, he will lose only 43.5 cents. And he will get the balance price also. But he was directed to pay only 2000 rupees. That was sought to be realized by execution and attachment of 1 acre and 53.5 cents of land belonging to him. And that was sold and purchased by the decree holder for 12,000 rupees. There was no proper publication, no permission of the court, there was no other bidder, and the decree holder, auction purchaser, knocked it off for a very low price. An application was made to set aside the sale, but the executing court did not accept it. He went to the High Court, judgmentator, but the High Court also did not do. He went to the Supreme Court. See the plight of litigants. And the Supreme Court set aside the order passed by the executing court and the order passed by the High Court. And it was held, 4 points, it was held there. Sale in violation of Rule 72 to the decree holder without prior permission of the court to bid in auction is illegal. One ground. 2. Sale was notified in the village at the time of bid and several persons gathered at that time. No proper publication was made. The procedure was illegal. Sale was notified in the village at the time of bid and several persons gathered at that time. No prior publication was made. There was no bidders. People gathered there. Sale of only the property sufficient to satisfy the decree alone should be made. We have seen Ambadi Narasayya's case, 1990 Supreme Court. Rule 64-66, the significance of it, please see in this judgment. Decree holder overreached the agreement and got a larger benefit. There was no attempt to sell only a reasonable portion. Sale so held is illegal. Supreme Court set aside the whole thing, which the executing court or the High Court did not think it fit to help the judgmentator even in this precarious situation, even in this unfortunate situation. The court did not lend his helping hand. All these happened because of the irregularities. Who are responsible? Parties are responsible. Their counsel are also responsible. Court is also responsible. See the plight of a litigant who would lose only 43.5 cents and he will get the balance sale price also, even if he loses in this wood for specific performance. Had to lose 1 acre and 53.5 cents for realization of only the advance which he had received, namely 2,000 rupees. What more injustice is required? This is the significance of Rules 64 and 66. This is the significance. It is not a dead letter. It is not a procedural requirement alone. These procedural requirements have been made, considered, even amended in 1976 by the Parliament with a purpose. But that purpose must be percolated into the actual system. That is courts. If they go in a mechanical way, advocates also take it in a routine way. It is just another case for them. No, it should not be so. It's a very serious thing. Selling of immoral property. So I would like to emphasize is that time and again the Supreme Court had occasion to point out these things. But unfortunately things go on in a routine manner, as if another case is in a mechanical manner, perfunctory manner, routine manner. Things go on. No. See, these procedural formalities, there is something called procedural justice. Why all these technicalities and procedures? It is not a technical argument alone. Somebody may say that these are all technical arguments. Why all these archaic law? See, even Civil Procedure Code, which was enacted more than 100 years ago, it is all the old laws should be scrapped. How do you answer to this situation? Is procedure required? Is the procedural safeguards required? It is required to help the needy. That is the significance of all these procedure. Otherwise, the courts will, when there is no prescribed procedure, what will be the result? Anarchy. One court may think go on passing orders in one way, another court will do it in another way, and after doing it for several times he will think that he is right, and again after several orders he will think that he alone is right, others are wrong. So there is no uniformity. There must be institutional uniformity to the extent possible. That is why all these procedures are. These are not dead letters. It has got life when it comes to the proper person, proper court. Yes. So this is AIR 1997 Supreme Court 2106 Lalchand's case. Is a decision which is to be read by all concerned to see that how we, the lawmen, are expected to protect the interest of very many Daridra Narayanas, in the words of Justice Krishna Iyer. In this land of Daridra Narayanas, it is not a sin to be poor, is what his lordship said. So we are dealing with the case of mostly Daridra Narayanas. So it is our duty to protect their interests. You have to spend some time on it. You have to discuss with them, gather all the details, and comply with these procedural formalities. Then only we can protect. That is the significance of these rules. These are not the rules for rules' sake. Yes. Now Rule 72A. Mortgagee not to bid at the sale without the leave of the court. Notwithstanding anything contained in Rule 72, a mortgagee of immovable property shall not bid for or purchase property sold in execution of a decree on the mortgage unless the court grants him leave to bid for or purchase property. See the difference in the wording. In Rule 72, he shall not bid for or purchase the property without the express permission of the court. Here, leave. Let us take it that both are same. Let us take it. But there are certain differences. If leave to bid is granted to such mortgagee, then the court shall fix a reserve price as regards the mortgagee, and unless the court otherwise directs, the reserve price shall be not less than the amount then due for principal, interest and cost in respect of the mortgage if the property is sold in one lot, and in case the property is sold in lots, not less than such sum as shall appear to the court to be properly attributable to each lot in relation to the amount then due for principal, interest and cost of the mortgage. In other respects, Subrule 3. In other respects, the provisions of Subrule 2 and 3 of Rule 72 shall apply in relation to the purchase by the decree holder under that rule. Same thing will apply 2 and 3 as in Rule 72. But the significance here is that mortgagee purchases. An item of property was mortgaged by A to B. B advanced amount, that was a loan, and loan was secured by a mortgage. That is, A received the loan, A's property given as security for B, a mortgage deed was executed, A is the mortgager, B is the mortgagee. Mortgagee has a right to institute a suit for realization of the money by sale of this mortgaged item. He files a suit, decreed. He executes it. As any other decree holder, he may purchase, he may participate in the auction and purchase it. If he offers the highest amount, he will get it. But there are certain precautions to be taken by the court as well as by the parties. That is, 1, if the mortgagee bids at the auction, he has to get the leave of the court. And when the court grants leave, the court shall grant it only after fixing a reserve price. What is a reserve price? It shall not normally be less than the mortgage amount plus interest and cost. Why it is so? A mortgages the property to B for 1 lakh. B advances 1 lakh. Then B must be satisfied that this property is enough security for realization of that 1 lakh plus interest and cost of any litigation. Otherwise, he will not lend money. So, B, the mortgagee, was satisfied that this property is sufficient security, otherwise he will not advance amount. And then B, the decree holder, he files a suit, he gets a decree. He purchases. He cannot get the property for a song. He has to get the leave of the court. And that leave will be granted only after fixing a reserve price, which will not be less than 1 lakh plus interest and cost. That is to ensure that a proper price is fetched in the court auction sale and A, the judgmentator, the mortgager, is not oppressed. Then all other aspects, Rule 72 will apply. 72 2 and 3 applies. So sale can be set aside also if no reserve price, if no leave is granted or reserve price is fixed. So it is here the decree holder's advocate has to ascertain whether the decree holder mortgagee is going to bid in the auction, whether he is interested in bidding. Sometimes he may not be interested, all strangers will participate in the auction, then we need not worry about it. But if your client, namely the mortgagee decree holder, intends to bid at the auction, he has to get the leave of the court. He will not ask the lawyer, I am going to bid, please get a leave from the court under Rule 72A, because he does not know it. So it is the decree holder's advocate's duty to see when auction is about to take place, to ascertain from the decree holder, so and so, dear so and so, are you going to bid in the auction? You are the decree holder. If you intend to bid in the auction, you have to get the necessary leave and you have to apply for leave. Make an application under Rule 72A. And then the duty of the court to fix the reserve price. There also the advocates, both sides, may invite the attention of the court to Rule 72A and say that the court may fix a reserve price. That reserve price normally should not be less than the decree amount plus the mortgage amount plus interest and cost. Then we have seen Rule 73 also. 72A, you may see a decision. There are so many decisions, I just refer to one decision so that 2006 4 KLT 882 Bahulayan versus Musa. Bahulayan versus Musa. There all the relevant decisions till then have been referred to. Please go through it. And then so Rule 72 and 72A are important for the law students for examination point of view, and important for the lawyers to the extent that it is the duty is cast on the lawyers to protect the interest of their clients to the extent possible under Rule 72 and 72A, and what are all the legal requirements, etc., etc. These are all material. So we will go to the next episode on another day and deal with other important portions. Thank you.